Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Good afternoon to Madam Shamila and friends. Today I would like to talk about new public management. Before we start our presentation, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Muhammad Sahidan bin Muhammad Yusof. My nomenclature is 261540. HUT 1991 identified 7 principles that can be linked to the reform behind the new public management or NPM label. These principles include managerialism, which allows senior managers to make decisions independently and take full responsibility for the activities carried out. Performance appraisal to better determine the objective indicators and definition of performance indicators quantitatively. Output rules linking resource allocation with expected outcomes. Separation of units including the breakdown of large bureaucracies into smaller departments responsible for their own outcomes. Competition is a method of creating a partial market between government agencies and private service providers. Accuracy and prudence in the use of resource while using budgetary control to increasing competitiveness and efficiency. Personal management style more emphasize personal skills, abilities, and flexibility to distance them from the hierarchy and ethics of public service based on rules. And personal management style, which will place more emphasis on personal skills, abilities, and flexibility to distance them from the hierarchy and code of ethics of the public service based on rule. The new public management or NPM can also be seen as a tool to transform public sector organizations or PSO into more complete to accurate entities. Brances and Sahlin Anderson believe that PSO must reshape to shape and maintain identity, demonstrate and practice rationality, and create a hierarchical organizational structure. These quantities are considered to enable organization to manage important part of their operation. The function are considered an integral part of a real organization and they have replaced the logic of conventional hierarchical type of management in the public sector. The ability of an organization to set its own goal based on specific role associated with other entities in the same industry. Market or policy area is called identity of uniqueness. In terms of the preparation of setting of organization goals, the ability to evaluate and the ability to delegate responsibilities, rationality refers to an autonomous decision making. Finally, public sector organization with a functional hierarchical structure have the opportunity and ability to define and maintain clear and unique organizational boundaries and framework. Strategic communication. In some cases, the new public management or NPM principle is very close to the strategic communication principle. Strategic communication such as NPM emphasizes integrity management and continuity, which everything a company says or does. In addition to the basic principle of NPM, strategic communication also provides customized routines, principal strategies, and work models from the private sector to legitimize and promote public sector transformation. Strategic communication in public sector organizations become more important as it is in line with the goal of NPM reforms and sometimes even mutually supporting to create, maintain and deliver organizational structures with different identities, logic and hierarchies. Identity. One of the main goals of the reform initiative to make government agencies take greater responsibility for their own outcomes, thus increasing efficiency, confidence, and choice. This requires changing the focus from input to output. In previous system, the PSO was extended and part of the political structure. Their power is taken over because they are assigned to perform and carry out political tasks assigned by political figures. It is hoped the PSO can gain in credibility in the current system by showing how it contributes to society through its own activity. As a result, it is increasingly important for the PSO to differentiate themselves from the competition. It should be clear which company is responsibility for what action and all outcomes to gain confidence and support. As competition between PSO increases, the need for that difference increases and the performance of PSO organizations depends on the ability to attract students, patients, people's parents and others. Many PSO use strategic communication to create, defend, and enhance their credibility to meet their challenges and enlist the help of the public. Elected leaders, client group, the media, policy experts in the efforts. Government agencies have a long history of considering their image with making decisions. But modern PSO have regulated their practice by applying reputation management techniques, including strategic communication as a key component. Therefore, reputation is a factor that organizations need to consider when making decisions. This has been a major focus. While community knowledge, education, and guidelines are still important aspects of PSO communication, the priority of community attention, exposure, and recognition is become increasingly important. Rationality. The emphasis of public sector reforms is less on what PSO do and more on how they do it and which the conquests. The functions, effectiveness, performance, and outcome of the organizations have been highlighted, and the PSO has been given the attention and ability to achieve the goal in this grade. PSO should act rationally to achieve this goal, which manages making decisions systemically and objectively, predicting priorities, goals, and desires, suggesting and comparing options for future actions, and evaluating the various implications of those actions. PSO benefit from strategic communication because they are based on assumptions about communication that is purposeful, directed, managed, monitored, accurate, and efficient to help the organization achieve its objective. PSO are increasingly specializing and practicing their relation practice to achieve this goal. Communication departments have been created, and that department have been given their own resource and authority to make decisions, determine and department optional priorities is an important part of its work, not just in their own project but also their own relationship to the overall purpose of the organization. As a result, they need to evaluate communication effort because communication to grow, primarily because of the rationality of activity required by the intellects. Communication managers who are free to choose their own priorities and method must be willing to take responsibility for their own decision, like others operation, strategic communication related to predetermined goals and increasingly monitor, measure, and evaluate. As a result, public sector's collaboration, effort, and application are often given numerical value and the divide into measurable units. Next is hierarchy. New public management or NPM reforms require significant improvement in the way work is structured, implemented, executed, and evaluated in PSO. These reforms are difficult to implement because they require the ability to define, and maintain the boundaries and framework of a sovereign organization, which were not required for previous framework. Since many reforms at odds with existing values, norms, and activity, great effort must be made to prove defense and advocate for their reforms and qualities. The PSO and its management team must authorize the change, explain why the change was implemented, how it implement the change, and how the change will affect the core process and roles of the organization, and set the core values of the PSO. This is a project that involves multiple means of communication, bringing the communication function closer to the executive suite and incorporating into management thinking. My next point is the new public management reform. The basis of management reform is to establish a new set of principles of public management and incorporate of model of government decentralization by considering new requirements for state functioning under fiscal change, performance expectation, and democratic accountability. This led to the restructuring of new institutional structures from which they may emerge impending public values, strengthening management capabilities, and expanding public sector's capacity, which were the three pillars of management reform in the 1990. To find a new position in the country, management reform aims to achieve compatibility between the needs of fiscal improvement and structural reform. In terms of fiscal adjustment, this strategy aims to reduce government spending while still improving the budget balance. The prototype of the new reform is a management organization based on the new model and driven by efficiency. Changing the internal motive of the bureaucracy began the change of concept behind the traditional bureaucratic model of control and representation. The effectiveness of management reform depends on the image of new methods and institutional structures that can produce new and more effective model for the relationship between state, market, and civil society in public policy management. Managerialism begins with the premise of improving the efficiency of public administration. It requires the integration of market procedures into public institutions with a focus on result. Decentralization of management operation, making staff accountable for produce, and making producers flexible. This is based on post-bureaucratic theory and management model for the private sector. Furthermore, there is a significant difference between the role of public policy formulation, policy making, and implementation, service delivery. The ideal management model is flexible management model that operates in a competition environment. The reform aims to create a model bureaucracy in which a control-based accountability system was gradually replaced by a result-based accountability system. National change more broadly encompass the consolidation of four key areas: fiscal adjustments, balance, management performance, improved management capacities, and expansion of transparency. The dilemma of control and the limit of management reform in Brazil. The hypothesis put forward is that the problem of control is one of the main mechanisms that in circumstances and circumstances from the Brazilian experience contribute to the failure of reforms. In the case of Brazil, control issue result in a pattern of double cooperation with fiscal chains taking restricting the possibility and a versatile model in the representation and control of public policy. The proposed reform model of reform to change the position of the Brazilian state was not adapted. A number of reforms have been implemented. Last but not least, the Brazilian example shows a dilemma that can be seen in many management changes. The conflict between structural reform and fiscal adjustment and control is an important variable in explaining why the purpose of increasing efficiency in the face of fiscal austerity does not comply with spontaneous cooperation. By way of recapitulation, let us return to the new public management and its description by some of its proponents as a revolution. That description is apt in a select few industrialized countries. In the developing world, it is only one strength in a halting and uncertain process of change. There is no such thing as a single model of new public management reform, even if it is industrialized headlines. Through there are of course many common elements. The labor convenience through it is can lead to the reification of the concept and the assumption that there is a greater degree of uniformity than is actually the case.